Howdy y'all, name's Clover. Welcome back to another time-lapse video. Now this one's gonna be a little bit shorter than usual. I'm just kind of doing a little quick check-in while I take a break from a much bigger project I've been working on. And if you're new here, first off, welcome on in. I'm so glad to have you. Usually these videos are me working on a full VTuber model or something a bit more complex, but today's gonna be a little bit different. Right here, we got working on is Bong. Now, if you ain't played the game Peak, you probably had no idea what you're looking at, and that's totally fair. I actually just played the game myself for the very first time a couple days ago, and y'all, when I tell y'all, I immediately fell in love with how dumb this guy looks. I mean, like really in the best way. Like, he's just so lovable and scrunkly, just a little silly looking guy, you know? Had me cracking up the minute I saw him. And, you know, also not for nothing, I really love the relationship the devs have with their community through Bing Bong. Like, if y'all ain't seen some of the clips, I implore y'all, please go check it out, because they are genuinely so hilarious. And seeing that kind of goofy back and forth connection between like the devs and folks playing the game is so wholesome to me. Like, I'm just so in love with that kind of relationship. And you know, after seeing that, something in me was just kind of like, I need to make this model. Like, I really need to rig this goofy little guy as like kind of my own tribute to how fun the game is and how sweet the community vibe is. It just, I don't know, something that really connected with me and I really wanted to do. Now, truth be told, I had actually been working on something a whole lot bigger during this. I got this big project with like tons of animations and toggles and a whole lot of stuff going on. I'm really excited to show y'all. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love working on those kinds of things. Like, I'm having such a great time on that project. But y'all also kind of know like how sometimes when you're in the middle of something real complex, your brain kind of just shuts off after a while. Like, you got so many hours in, you're just like, oh, your brain just gets tired seeing the same thing. It's that feeling like you've just been looking at it a little bit too long and you kind of need to take a step back and breathe, if you get what I'm saying. Pretty much where I was at with this project today. So this morning when I woke up and sat down at my desk, I opened up Live 2D and like, just, I could feel it. I was like, nope, it ain't happening. And, you know, part of that may also be like, because I am like ADHD, I've mentioned that before, that sometimes I get a little stubborn when I see a project and or something. I'm just like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So I was like, okay, well, I need to do something so that I'm, you know, revitalizing my energy. I got to thinking, like, what can I do to get me out of my rut? And I was like, oh yeah, Bing Bong. I was wanting to do that. This is a great time to just sit down and work on Bing Bong. So that's what I did. And, you know, it took me about 2.5 hours or so. But, you know, just a quick little thing. And honestly, it felt so good to just let it be like a simple thing, like real quick dopamine rush. I wasn't trying to make this perfect by any means. In fact, I was actually trying to keep it super scuffed and goofy, just like Bing Bong would be, you know. And little projects like this are great because they're just for fun, and they let me kind of daydream about like, how would he move, right? Because Bing Bong don't really move in the game. You just kind of hold him, little stuffed animal. So I'm thinking, like, if he were alive, how would he move? What would he look like? What would his expressions be like? And plus, it also gave me a chance to experiment with a different style with the cell shading that you see here, which honestly, I think it turned out really good. It almost looks 3D to me. There's a few things I see that I could definitely stand to learn from and tinker with. But overall, I mean, it just felt so good to let my brain wander and play around with a different style and this goofy little guy. And while I was working on it too, I kind of realized something else. It's actually, I think I forgot how good it feels to just do something for literally no reason at all. Like, not because I got commissioned to, or because someone asked me to, or because I thought it'd be good for my portfolio or anything like that. I just did it because I wanted to, because I just did it for the love of it, you know. And it really sounds super simple when I say that out loud, but honestly, it ain't always that easy to convince yourself to just do something for fun, you know. y'all know how it is. When you make your living off of something that you love, it starts to become a little bit tricky, right? Like everything suddenly feels like it needs to have a purpose or an outcome attached to it. Like there's always this voice whispering in your ear like, hey, is this worth your time? Is this going to help you grow? Is this productive enough? You know, like, what are you doing? Get to work. And it ain't like I mean for that kind of stuff to pop up in my head either. It just kind of sneaks in. And one day you realize you're thinking more about the end results and less about why you started making stuff in the first place. So this project, the Bong project, was real like true blue for me, right? Just like, there was no multitasking. There was no trying to respond to messages or secretly trying to rest into productivity. You know what I mean? I just threw on some music I liked and had fun rigging. And let me tell you, it felt like I was breathing for the first time in a good long while. It really made me feel human again. And afterwards, I am feeling real refreshed, actually, like surprisingly very refreshed. Instead of feeling like tired or burnt out, sometimes I finish a project and I'm just like, oh, I had fun doing it, but man, I'm glad it's over. And this one, it felt a lot lighter than that. So I even ended up going back to my bigger project I've been telling y'all about with a lot more energy and excitement, and it was really just exactly what I needed to kickstart my energy again. You know what I mean? And sometimes these little fun projects refill your tank way more than you think they would. It's kind of wild, actually, how much creative energy can come back just by giving yourself permission to actually take a break and just go do something because you enjoy it, And, it's a healthy reminder that not every project has to be something big or meaningful or lead to really anything at all. Like, it's totally okay to just make something goofy or silly just because it makes you happy. In fact, maybe sometimes these little projects actually matter way more than the big ones, at least when it comes to like keeping your heart and your mind feeling good, as far as like mental health and spiritual health or whatever. I feel like these ones may be a bit more important. But anyways, now I'm just rambling on, and I know I don't have a bunch of time because it didn't take me hardly any time to do these, and I normally speed them up 20 times for the time lapse, so I think I got about 7 or 8 minutes to yap. So anyway, that was Bing Bong, just a quick little joy project that ended up meaning a lot more than I expected. So, anyway, thank y'all so much for sitting with me. I hope you enjoyed hanging out for the short little bit that we had today. Next time, I'll be back with something a lot more complicated, and I'm really excited to show y'all. But until then, I'm just going to keep reminding myself that it is good and necessary to take breaks before the burnout hits. Not after. Do not wait until you are already feeling burnt out, because I learned that lesson the hard way. But anyways, as always, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.